Hi everyone, welcome to my channel and to this little spring themed demo of a little country lane that is close to where I live. So this is this month's mini demo over on Patreon, one of my faster demos to create. And I hope that you enjoy it here in time-lapse. If you do, then please, as always, do subscribe to me here on YouTube and also go and check this out over on Patreon. For this little demo, I used the Canson velvet paper, and it's a lovely rich brown colour that it comes in. I've used it a couple of times for other little landscapes, and it works very well as a nice, deep and rich undercolour to start with. So the first part of my process with this type of demo is to block in some dark colours and then smudge it all over the place and get myself a little underpainting. So that's what I'm working on first, just getting some general shapes and colours blocked in to get me started. Now you will notice that there are two little dogs in the composition at this stage. And you'll notice in my reference image that they do feature in that as well, although I did search out some different photos of them to add them to this composition. In the end, I decided to paint over them because this is quite a small demo, so it's only 8 inches tall, and it was just a bit too awkward to add the two little figures in. If I were being very suggestive about it, it could be possible, but I decided in the end to not bother including the two tiny little figures. So it's just all about capturing that lovely dappled light and all of the beautiful wildflowers that we've got growing along the edges of the road. So that was my main aim with this. I walk past it every morning and it's so pretty at the minute. We've had such a lot of rain this winter in the south of Spain that it means that springtime is absolutely glorious here this year. We've got so many flowers. And of course that doesn't last very long here. Once the heat of summer comes, then we go a bit scorched earth after a very short amount of time. So I'm enjoying springtime. I'm enjoying all of the flowers, the birds, the bees, everything that is just brimming with life at the moment. So in this little demo, I will talk a lot about how I try to break out of my normal pattern of creating detail, how I try to create a sense of depth within a little scene like this, some of the tricks that I use for that to create depth and perspective. And then, of course, playing about with the big pastel sticks. No pastel pencil used in this type of a piece. I usually just make use of the bigger pastel sticks. And when I'm painting foliage, I am still very much in experimental mode. I'm still trying to find a full library of mark making that I can use to describe different types of foliage. And I really enjoy playing with these sticks of pigment because they can give you such a range of different types of marks. So that is something that I talk about a lot in this shorter demo. I've got a lot of these, well, I call them my mini demos over on Patreon, and these are shorter projects for those of us who don't have a huge amount of time to commit to painting. So they're not all landscapes. I have many animal themed ones, some still life, lots of different themes within the mini demos. And my aim is usually to complete something in under 4 hours. That's what I count as a mini demo. So this piece was under 3 hours. And the aim is always just to create something in less time. And often that means working smaller, which I really enjoy. And sometimes, like in this case, it involves working a bit looser than I tend to normally work. When I'm creating very detailed pet portraits, I put a lot of effort and thought into those tiny details, especially if it is a commissioned portrait, as My aim there is to get an exact likeness to really capture the character of the main subject. Whereas in this type of little study, I can sort of let go of the idea that it has to be exactly like my reference. I can use my reference as a guide, as inspiration. I can also use my memory of the days when I walk down this lane, how the colours actually look when I'm there in person, because my photographs never pick up the colours the way they actually were. So that's part of what I love about making these smaller pieces, letting go of any pressure to make it exact or make it too perfect or exactly like my reference. I can just let go of that a little bit and experiment. And sometimes things don't go exactly how I planned, and that's totally fine in these little pieces. They're not commissioned by anyone. There's no pressure to make it my best piece of work ever. And you can see here that I did actually start to paint my girl Lola. I decided to give it a try here to see could I get, enough space here to kind of capture the light and shade that's hitting her. But I really didn't like how it was going, and I think my initial idea to just paint the lane was the right one. So if nothing else, this gets to show you how you can rework and cover over things that you're not happy with in your composition. To a certain degree, if there is still some tooth on the paper, you can absolutely work over the top of something, change your mind halfway through, and you can still see the ghost of little Lola in the lane there. But as I work the shadows more, she will completely disappear in there. So it's a very versatile medium. You can change your mind, cover over things, go again. And that's what I love about soft pastel. So this was a fun little experimental study. I learned quite a lot doing this. I'm still feeling like I learn something new every time I paint a landscape. And I hope that many of my patrons over on Patreon will enjoy going through this one with me. So if you would like to paint along with me or check out any of my other demos and longer tutorials, check out my website, emmacolbertart.com. I'll add links in the description. And you can browse my full library there for free without signing up or anything. And I'll also add links in the description to my Patreon channel where you can access the full library. But thanks so much for watching this here. Please do remember to subscribe, and until next time, happy pasteling.